Good morning everyone, welcome to Our Small Footprint. My name is Nissa, and if you're new here, we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia. You're going to have to excuse the same backgrounds that I'm doing all my intros on at the moment because I'm getting it done later in the morning than I should be, and it means that there is very little shade that is at a distance from the children that I'm not going to have their music or screaming or dogs or anything as well. So I'm underneath our secondary solar array, which is lovely and shaded. It's where we store some tools and stuff. So you're going to get the same background each day. So today's video I'm going to share, we put up our Christmas tree. So we don't really have space to put a proper Christmas tree up, so this is what we did instead, which is a sort of a crafting homeschooling activity as well. So I've got a whole bunch of footage, and then I'm going to have a chat to you over the top of the footage that I'm sharing. And so come along and see what we ended up doing for our Christmas tree this year. So each year we do a lot of Christmas craft. We do a variety of educational, fun, all sorts of things, and I collect bits and pieces of craft, whether it's, pom-poms and sticky labels and all sorts of things throughout the year that I put into a box to go towards Christmas craft. I get clearance Christmas craft sometimes the year before that gets stored, so I've got some stuff that I've stored since January of last year that has been added to the rotation for this year as well, and some stuff that doesn't get finished last year that I then put into the box to be taken through to do for the next year. We don't have a proper Christmas tree up this year because we just don't really have room. We could put it outside, but we did find by putting it outside it got covered in spiders and stuff like that. Last year we had a tree that lit up, like just one of those white trees with the lights on it, and we now have that inside in the corner of the kids' space at night time, so that can be run as their sort of night light while they go to sleep and where they play their games and watch TV and stuff. And we might hang some stuff on that as we go through the rest of the month. But for our Christmas tree, we did a Christmas craft Christmas tree. So I purchased a tessellating shape Christmas tree off Teachers Pay Teachers, which is just a place that I buy a lot of our homeschool bits and pieces from. And it's basically, I could have designed it myself, but I chose to support someone else and not have to take that extra time. And it's basically a bunch of Christmas trees that are all in a shape that they tessellate together. They have some different decorations on them, and you decorate them, you cut them out, and then when you put them together they create one large tree that's the same shape as the tessellating pieces in the middle. So we've added some, homeschool learning in there as well towards the craft. And I just printed out 25 of these trees because that's what would take to make the size tree. You can make it as small or as large to a degree that you want to make it. So I printed them all out and gave the kids the textures, the pencils, the craft equipment, we had used some paints, some glitter, glue, all that sort of thing, and let them go. I sat down and did one with them at one point. I think Daryl did one as well, and all the kids came and went throughout the few hours of the day doing that. They had snacks. I'm sure they're eating smoothie pops in here somewhere and some rice crackers or something. But they'd already done their chores for the day, so they're basically just spending the time doing the Christmas craft throughout the day for however long they want. Now, I have found that this Vlogmas is a little bit more difficult to share some of the content, so basically a lot of this content will probably just end up being sped up videos of the kids doing bits and pieces with little bits of speech and mostly just music over the top. I would love to be able to do what a lot of people have done this year with, they've got their custom intros for their videos that are Christmas and Vlogmas related, and they're vlogging their days going out and about over Christmas. But of course we don't leave the property. Everything we do other than shopping is done at the property, and we still have a very busy day-to-day life. So whilst Christmas is a little bit different, they get their Christmas crafts, we do our fancy cooking and all that sort of thing, our days are still very similar to normal. And it's really difficult for me to do like vlogging style videos, which is why I turned to the voiceover in the kitchen videos, which everyone seemed to really enjoy, which was really lucky for me to be able to find that way of doing something that everyone enjoyed. Vlogging is not like, to be able to have the sound on in the camera and talking to the camera within our living space becomes very difficult. Even under the patio with the dogs and the kids and never knowing what's going to come out of the kids' mouths. But also they tend to play music all day every day, and we have a Spotify account, so everyone has their own playlist, and we play it off a Bluetooth speaker out on the patio. And of course we can't have that playing in the background of videos for longer than 15 seconds at a time, so that becomes an issue there as well. And the kids love having music playing, and I'm not going to like turn it off to say something and then turn it back on and then have to worry about making sure I'm muted in the videos. So basically I just set the camera up while they're doing these sorts of activities, and I walk away, and when I come back I'll have a look at the footage, and I'll either speed it up or I'll pick bits and pieces out of it and share it that way. So that is what our Vlogmas, a lot of our Vlogmas will be. We do have some interactive stuff, but a lot of it will be sharing day-to-day stuff without any real interaction with the camera. I'm pretty sure the kids showed their stuff off to the camera at some point, mind you, so they know it's there. But yeah, so I sometimes sit here and go whether it's worthwhile doing it or not, because it's not quite the same as what a lot of people manage to get done for Vlogmas, but it is what it is, and this is how we've ended up doing it. So back to that tree. I might stop for a little bit here and put just a bit of footage with some Christmas music for you to see them finishing it off, and then I'll come back to you. So while I cut out most of the trees, because the only issue with them being a tessellating tree is that you have to have it cut fairly precisely for them all to fit into the same shape. If they're not cut overly precisely, then they're not going to stack in a correct manner to make a tree. So the kids cut some of them out, and then I tidied it up and cut the rest of them out for them. So while I was doing all that, they pulled out the Christmas puzzles. So I bought this really cute box of 4 puzzles, Australian Christmas themed puzzles. I think they were from Kmart and maybe BW, I'd have to check. But the kids love puzzles. Sonnet, puzzles are a huge thing for Sonnet. She really adores doing puzzles, and we're hoping to set up space as we figure out living space as they get older, where there'll be a table that she can have puzzles set up at, because she would really enjoy being able to come and go to a puzzle and that sort of thing. So they did these Christmas puzzles, and they will probably, to be honest, do these every day this month, because they just really enjoy puzzles. Pull them out and do them, and beyond Christmas as well, until there's so many pieces lost that they can no longer put them together, because that tends to be what happens with puzzles. Even if I provide them containers and everything else, they do them until all of a sudden there is pieces missing, and then they no longer do them, which is fine. That's why I don't spend a huge amount of money on puzzles. But they all got these done, so it's a set of 4 puzzles with different scenes on them. They're Australian themed, and they told me a story about which order the puzzles went in and things like that, and had a whole lot of fun putting them together. And as I said, they'll probably do them again each day, because they're puzzles, and that's the point of puzzles, is being able to put them together, pull them apart, and put them together again and again. We also did the advent calendar. So this is the advent calendar that I had mentioned, which is the Gruffalo and Friends one. So you open up the big book, and it has lots of little books inside. So Daryl goes through that every night and reads them a story, or does. It appears that this one has some activity booklets in it as well, so they go through that each evening as a just before bed thing. Daryl will sit in the bedroom with the boys mostly and do that. Whoever wants to join in can. And then we use that as our countdown. Once the tree was cut up, we put it up on the wall. Now, we have a wall that is fibre cement, and it's the same wall that's been there since we moved in 4.5 years ago, and it will have to be replaced at some point. So the kids have used it as an art space previously anyway, and so we decided we'd put the tree up there. However, when I went to put it up, I realized that the big PVA glue was empty, of course, because I wanted to use it. So then we had tossed up different ideas on how to get the tree up on the wall, and in the end I got frustrated and walked away, so Daryl did it instead. And the only issue was that the only paint-onable stain or varnish or anything we could find was wood toned. So it's got a wood stain tone that he's used to glue it up there. But at least it's up on the wall, and it's not sitting somewhere being destroyed, because that's what would happen if I left it sitting waiting to find the right glue, or for Daryl to go into town again. It's Saturday today, so he won't be going in until at least Monday. Then by that point, half the trees would be missing, and it would never go up on the wall. So I'm grateful for him getting it up there, even when I got so frustrated that I decided that it wasn't worthwhile doing anymore. But yes, it does have a bit of a brown wood stain pattern around it. As I said, this is a fibre cement wall. We never ended up doing never ended up painting it or anything else. These were the very first walls that we put up 4.5 years ago, and they were purely because this was our sleeping space and it needed to be sealed so that the fireplace could warm up the place, because it was the middle of winter. So this wall has been drawn on previously. The kids have done some artwork on it before, and having this little bit of brown around the tree is not a big deal. And as I said, I might pull out some paints and they can paint around the tree as well, or we'll make more decorations that they can stick on there once we get the right glue or whatever works. For the moment, we have a tree up, and that's what we were aiming for today. So thank you for joining me again today, and pick and choose which videos you want to watch. I'm happy for you to watch them or not. I'm going to share them, but I will see you again tomorrow, probably for a homestead chat tomorrow. Thanks, guys.